I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on GBM, we're diving into San Diego artists, fine art photography, and a photographic memoir that captures a decade of unforgettable portrait sessions. We're speaking with a terrific author and artist and photographer. Her name is JenniferGSpencer, and she returns to the local art scene and documents 50 artists through intimate, visually striking portraits taken from 2006 to 2016. The name of the book, The Artist's Portrait Project. It is a powerful story of creativity, community, and reinvention, proof that the creative spirit doesn't retire. We're delighted to have this very talented author and photographer join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining me here today.
And thank you for inviting me.
It's my pleasure. Great work on this book. I'm excited to talk to you. Let me ask you this. What was the moment you knew you had to begin the Artist Portrait Project?
I think I was still a student over at Grossmont College in photography, and I had been photographing my artist friends over a period of time anyway, but very casually. But then I noticed that some of my friends were beginning to retire or pass away.
Hmm.
And I figured it was about time I needed to get out there and be serious about this project. I was just, very casually going to openings and inviting some, asking somebody if I can come to their studio and talk to them about their work and photograph them with my big 4x5 camera. And they were intrigued, by the way, by the camera. They'd never heard of such a thing.
Hmm.
So that's how I started. Kind of slow, but then I realized I had to speed up to get the project done.
Absolutely. How did your 13 years as an executive director shape the way you approached photographing artists?
Well, I worked with so many wonderful artists during that period of time as an administrator, actually promoting the arts in San Diego, which was
Mhm.
a real job, and ran into all these wonderful artists. And I'm going like, I'm not alone. And that's what we were doing. We were creating a community through our organization promoting them and creating opportunities for them to exhibit their work. That was one of the challenges that we had in San Diego, as it is in many cities across the US. But it was working. We were beginning to get attention for the artists, and that was wonderful. They loved it.
Yeah. Portraiture is, in some ways, an unusual subject matter for a book like this. Why
Mhm.
did you choose that as a medium to tell the story?
Well, I think uh, just going back to my childhood, I had been influenced by my mother, who was a portrait artist herself in pastel. And I always felt somewhat intimidated by her because she did such beautiful work. So it was kind of a challenge for me to come out and capture the way she captured family members, etc. And the vision that I was looking for was, who were these artists? People would see their work in a gallery, but they wouldn't know who they were
Mhm.
unless the artist was standing near the work, and they wouldn't have a chance to talk to them. So I thought, how can I capture them in a portrait that would tell people, the audience who sees their work in a gallery, about what kind of personality they had and how individually they created their work that expressed not only who they were, but how they viewed the world. And that's what drew people often in to their work, was that expression. And so I tried to do something back by creating a portrait of the artist as they are, so that other people could see them, even though they might not have a chance to go to their studio. So that was like,
Yeah.
portrait, look at the work, look at the artist. And I was taking notes too, and some of the artists were really funny. Jimmy, oh my gosh, down in San Diego, he's like the only artist who maintained a studio right there on the street. And I was going, wow, this guy is really wonderful. His personality just drew people into his gallery. So he actually had his own gallery on the street, so
Hmm.
people could meet him, and that was a plus for him. Whereas other artists, were way in their studios and they didn't get to have people contact. So
Yeah. Let me ask you this. How do you make a book of portraiture of artists not feel like just a collection of headshots? What did you do to work with the subjects? How did you try to capture them? How did you try to capture their essence?
that's a really good question. I had to work on it a little bit in the beginning, but fortunately, I had good friends who were very patient with me. And I learned when looking through my 4x5 camera, the image is actually upside down
Hmm.
and switched. So that's good for design. But when the artists could see this huge contraption in front of them, they were distracted a little bit.
Yeah.
And they would ask me a little bit about the camera. And so I'd start explaining, and then we'd talk about their work. And it was all of a sudden their faces were changing. They were more relaxed. They felt more comfortable about talking about their work. Whereas, initially they're just kind of like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
But they
that's typical.
relaxed, and they were very curious, like we were curious about something they've never seen before. And when that happened, I would be under the hood and looking at them, and we're talking, and all of a sudden there was this expression that would come across their face that totally told me who they were. And click, that's
Mm.
when I took the picture. So it was a process, basically. It wasn't going in there, click, okay, I'm done. No, it was like I was spending about a half an hour with them, or however much time they could give me to, get them calm, um, comfortable. I already knew who they were, but they were kind of curious as to what I was doing, and they didn't know how it was going to be used. And so there was a little trepidation there. I had to clear that away, and then, oh, this is going to be wonderful because
Yep.
I'm going to be in a book. That was that really got them. Oh, I'm going to be in a book.
Exactly.
I don't know if it'll be published though. I have to be honest. Oh, but
Right.
this is fun. And then their personalities would come out. And that's what I was trying to capture so that other people could see who they were when they go to the gallery and they see their
Mhm.
painting or their drawing or their sculpture. Well, this is who they are.
Yeah. No, that's great. Did you shoot this digitally or on film?
Well, 4x5 camera is a film camera, and I was using black and white film, mostly Ilford, black and white.
Mhm.
And the film pieces of film are about like that. They're
Right.
large. So you catch a lot of detail in that piece of film, more than you would in a little, 35 millimeter strip,
Right.
or even digitally back then. There's a lot more nuance in the shading of people, their faces, and
Hmm.
it was all in black and white. And photographing in black and white is more elegant
Hmm.
than in color, I've
Yeah.
discovered. And that's why I chose to do it that way, because I wanted people to concentrate on who these people were more than what color their shirt was, or
Yeah.
that kind of thing, which can happen.
Yeah. A film is a much more beautiful medium than digital
Mhm,
photography. As
mhm,
advanced as it is today,
mhm.
it's still not more than a very high definition television image. It's
Thank
still
you.
pixels, and it's not
Yes.
nearly as pretty as film. So that's one of the beautiful parts of this book is the fact that you shot it on film and in black and white, which I think is also the most flattering way to shoot someone as well. If you look at the old movie stars from the golden era, it was
Yes.
all film photography, all shot in black and white,
Right.
including their movies as well.
Right.
Let me ask you this, choosing that final group of 50 artists, what was that like? Was it intuitive? Were you curating it? I mean, who to leave out? It was a tough time, I'm sure, as well.
Well, that's a good question, because what I tried to do, we have a broad um, community back when I was starting it. And these are all people I basically knew who had participated with COVA, either in exhibitions or performance or whatever. And there were such a wide variety. One wanted a good representation of that. From Jean Cornwell, an African American artist. You may have, if you've seen the book.
Yeah.
Okay, you look, Jean Cornwell, who's a good friend of mine, who's also a teacher for foster kids.
Hmm.
She was a great volunteer for me. She started me out. And then another artist, Jim Hubble. Jim Hubble, unfortunately, has passed away. I don't know if you know who he is. He's world famous, actually, he's a multidimensional artist. Um, they all contributed. I tried to
Yeah.
keep it even, male, female, cultural representations
Hmm.
throughout as much as
Yeah.
I could. But these are all people and all friends that I'd made. So it was pretty easy,
Yeah.
actually.
Wonderful. Wonderful. This, I understand, was kind of a retirement project, and you didn't really retire. You basically just shifted gears. And somebody said that recently that, don't retire, rewire. And you kind of rewired in your second act, if you will, or whatever you want to say. Tell us what that shift was like and what it meant for you personally.
Well, the shift actually, I got thrown into the shift quite proud. I was originally a painter. I had a large studio in downtown San Diego, and then the ballpark came in, and the ballpark was actually the demise of my building.
Hmm.
Flattened it, and I'm in. If I was there, I'd be in the outfield right now, but I had to move everything home. Well, I don't. In my home studio, it's the ceilings are like 8 foot,
Mhm.
normal house ceiling. And I thought, this is not going to work. Because I was doing these large paintings, and well, this is not going to work that way anymore. So um, I'd always photographed my work.
Mhm.
And I thought, wait a minute, there's something here. That's how I documented my work, kept track of it. So I started looking at taking classes, maybe in photography over at Grossmont. And interestingly enough, I was wandering around, the campus, and Suda House, one of the instructors, was out standing outside because we were beginning of a term. And she says, Can I help you? And I said, Yes, I'm looking for a class. She says, Come here, come in my class, because she needed to have 12 to get her class to run. So
Mm.
that's how I started. Suda House is the one who started me on photography. And I'm going like, I fell in love with it immediately. It was like a new way of expression that I've been looking for since, the painting, I could do small paintings. I mean, that
Mhm.
was a big thing, but I was used to doing large pieces, very expressive pieces.
Mhm.
And that was like collapsed. I mean,
Yeah.
and that it's happened to other artists. I mean, there were a lot of other artists downtown who had the same experience I did. In fact, when the book came out and I had a big opening at Works Books, the room was filled with other artists who had experienced what I had experienced, the whole place being shut down in
Mm.
downtown San Diego. We had to
Yeah.
find other affordable ways of working.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
that's
tough to be pushed out like that, and we see that more and more. You
yes,
see like little mom and pop parts of Main Street getting replaced with, mixed use, commercial
right.
retail, condos, and Starbucks at the bottom, and rents that nobody can afford. And what's lost is the artist's voice. Go ahead, you wanted
Oh,
to add
well,
something.
you're making some really great points
Thank you.
because the artists in San Diego, way back in the 60s and 70s, when this particular group was coming up, developing in their careers, they were trying to find space downtown and they were finding it in vacant buildings,
Mm.
commercial buildings,
Yep.
because commercials had moved out somewhere and the people who owned the buildings needed to rent them. They have mortgages to pay. So the artists got some free, low cost rent in these buildings. Lo and behold, we created a community in downtown San Diego.
Right. And now it's valuable.
Now it's very valuable. And
Right.
we got pushed out
Yeah, it's
because
so
of it.
unfair. And that's actually an urban planning strategy. Bring in the artists, they'll bring in the yuppies, the
Mm-hmm.
yuppies will bring in the money, and
Mm-hmm.
you revitalize an area.
Yep.
Unfortunately, when you turn the artists away after they've revitalized the area, it's really unfair. And there's some laws in some cities that protect artists, like loft laws in New York City
Yes.
for
Yes.
artists and so forth.
Right.
But it's fascinating. Before I leave you today, what do you hope people who pick up your book and read it and look at the pictures and absorb it, what do you hope they take away from it?
That these are artists who were contributing to the community in a major way, more than what they know when they go into a gallery. They see them as not only creators, but innovators in their community, as you pointed out so aptly, and that they persisted in spite of everything,
Hmm.
even though they might have been shoved out like I was,
Yeah.
we persist and we continue to create. And I celebrate that with artists.
It's a starving artist, unfortunately or fortunately, is alive and well. It's a tough pursuit on any form of the arts, but we do it because we love it, not necessarily because it pays the bills all the time.
Yes.
And we do get respect by some sections of the community, and we get disrespected by others. But I think that art is what makes this life worth living, because whether it's the performing arts or the fine arts, it's the flowers of our existence. And you've done beautiful work with this book. It is called The Artist Portrait Project. It is a powerful story and a beautiful book of creativity, community, and reinvention. Thank you so much for joining me here today, Jennifer.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time, your insight, and the wonderful work and creativity that you used to create this wonderful book. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on the Global Book Network.